मला फक्त today discuss Unit 8 report writing. Research methodology in report writing very important part of फर्स्ट आपण रिपोर्ट रायटिंग डेफिनेशन पाहणार आहोत. त्याच्यानंतर नेक्स्ट त्याच्यामध्ये कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ रिसर्च मेथॉलॉजी. त्याच्यामध्ये टू कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक्स आहे, एक सबस्टॅन्टिव्ह कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक आणि नेक्स्ट टाइप्स आहे त्या ठिकाणी सिग्निमॅटिक कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक्स. सिग्निफिकन्स ऑफ रिपोर्ट रायटिंग, त्याच्यामध्ये काही टेक्निक्स ज्या आहे रिपोर्ट रायटिंगच्या तर त्या आपण डिस्कस करणार आहोत. तर बेसिक्स अनालिसिस ऑफ क्वांटिटिव्ह इन्फॉर्मेशन्स अँड बेसिक अनालिसिस ऑफ क्वालिटिव्ह इन्फॉर्मेशन. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट आहे त्या ठिकाणी इंटरप्रेटिव्ह इन्फॉर्मेशन्स. तर in this unit main objective is explain the meaning and characteristics of a research report, recognize the significance of a report writing, describe the technique of precautions of interpretations, and discuss the out of a report and categorize different types of report. Introductions. A report is a very formal document that is written for a variety of purpose, generally in this science, social science, engineering, and basic disciplines, generally finding preparing to given a specific task are written up to into a report. It should be not that a report are considered to be legal documents in the workplace, and thus they need to be prescribed accurate and different misinterpret. There are three features that together characterize report writing at a very basics level. Pre-finding structures, independent sections, and reaching unblessed conclusions. Preprint structures, broadly, this heading may indicate sections within a report, such as an introduction sections and conclusion. Independent sections, each section in a report is a typical written as a stand-alone piece, so the readers can selectively identify the report sections they are interested in rather than reading the whole report, though in one go from start to finish. It's unblessed conclusion. The third elements of report writing is that it is an unbiased and objective form of writing. Next point is the characteristics of research reports. Characteristics feature is an integral part of the report. This is no hard and fast rule for preparing a research report. The research report will differ based on the need of the particular managers use the report. The report also depend on the philosophy of the researcher. Example, a report prepared for a government agency will be different from the one prepared for a private organization. In spite of the fact that marketing report is influenced by the researcher, there are certain characteristics which the report should process. If it is so, be effectively communicated. These characteristics can be classified as: first is a substantive characteristics, and second is schematic characteristics. Subsequent characteristics. Subsequent characteristics are: first is accuracy, second currency, third sufficiency, fourth availability, and relevancy. The more that the report processes the above characteristics, the greater it is a particular value in decisions making. Accuracy refer to the degree to which information reflects relative, especially research report must accurately present both research producer and research result, even if the research result are not be as the expectations of the management. The researcher has the professional accuracy. Currency refers to the time span between completions of the research project and presentations of the research report. Next point is sufficiency. The research report must have sufficient details so that important and validity decisions can be made. Sometimes the sample representation by act as a concept for a sufficient detail not be availability. Example data required by the management say significant wise market, whereas overall market data is available. Next point is availability. The fourth important characteristics of research report is that it is available to the upright decisions maker when they need it. Relevancy. The research report should be conformed to the decisions. Mostly perspective confidence with information. Reveals the research report should be conformed to the decisions each research. Sometimes the researchers might include some information which he thinks is interesting but may not have any relevance. Next, cinematic characteristics. Cinematic characteristics are equally important in report. The report should be grammatically correct. It should be free from spelling and typing errors. This will ensure that there is no ambiguity or uh, misunderstanding. Assistance of proper reading other than the researchers would be required to eliminate the above errors. First, totally eight errors in the cinematic characteristics. First, creative expressions in the form of superlative simile should be our notes. The report should be concise jargon of any kind should be avoided. Common words with multiple meanings should be avoided. Versus language of the report must be sample. For example, sentence like humiliations must be. Examinations when premise are not in use can be expressed in simple words. Say, switch off the lights when you leave. What I use, I will. The report should be more impersonal. Sometimes the correct research use the data of research conducting in the past. In this case, in is better to use past tense than present tense. The following are the headlines for clarity of any research report: ability, jargon, misspelled words, executive preparations, improper punctuations, unclear words, clearly error. Some of the illustrations that can cause inaccuracy in report writing are given below. First, addition, subtraction error. Next, confuse between percentage and percentage point. Third is a wrong conclusion. This is a inaccurate report writing. Next point is the significance of report writing. Preparations, the presentations of research report is the most important part of the research process. No matter how brilliant the hypothesis and how well designed the research study, they are of that little value unless communicated effectively to other in the form of a research report. Moreover, if the report is confusing or properly written, the time and effort spent on gathering, analyzing data would be lost. It is therefore still to summarize and communicate to result to the managements in the form of an understandable and logical report. हा बोला ना मॅडम. नाही, कारण मला आय टीची 3 तासाचं प्रॅक्टिकल असतं का 2 तासाचं, म्हणून मी कन्फ्युज आहे. हम्म. हा हा. Techniques precautions of interpretations. Interpretations means bringing out the meaning of data. We can also say that interpretations is to convert data into information. These instance of any research is to do interpretations about the study. This requires a high degree of skill. There are two methods of drawing conclusion. First is induction, second is the de-induction. In the induction method, one starts from observation data and then generalizations is done, which extends the relationship between object observed. On the other hand, detective reasoning starts from some general law and is then applied to a particular instance. The application comes from the general to a particular situation. Uh, it's the basic analysis of quantitative information. Uh, from for information other than commentary, example writing, make copies of your data and store the master copy in them. Use the copy of formatting, edits, cutting and pasting, etc. Tabulate the information, add the add up the number of writing as now for each patient for rating for ID, consider computing a mean or average for each patient. For example, for patients, the average rating was 2.4. This is a more meaningful indicating how many response rating 1, 2, or 3 consider conveying the range of answer. 20 people selecting 130 rank 2 and 20 people ranking third. Basic analysis of quantitative information. Uh, First read though all the data. Organize comments into similar categories. For example, certain suggestions, trend, weakness, similar experience, program inputs. recommendations, outputs, outcome, indicators, etc. Label the categories of the things. For example, currency suggestions, etc. Attempt to identify patterns or associations and casual relationship in the rhythms. For example, all people who attend programs in the evening have similar consciousness. People came from the same geographic area. Most people were in the same salary range. What processor even response experienced during the program exercise. People are commentary for several years after completions in the case need for future reference, interpreting information, adapting, put the information in a perspective. For example, compare result to what you accepted from business management or program staff. Any comments on this for us? Your producer service solution goals, especially if you are conducting a program, evaluations, indications, or measures of completions, outcomes, or results, especially if you are conducting an outcomes or performs evaluations, descriptions of the performance. Explain strength, weakness, etc. Especially if we are conducting to process evaluations, consider recommendations to help employees into the program, product, or service, conclusions about program, operation or meeting goals, etc. Record conclusions and recommendations in a report and associated interpretations to justify your conclusion or recommendations. Precautions. Report writing. Some precautions. First precautions is to keep the main objective of research in mind. Second, analysis of data should start from simple and more fundamental except it should not be confused. The sample size should be adequate. Take care before simulations of this sample study. Give due attention to significant question. Calculations in report writing do not miss the significance of some answer because they are from very few responses such as do not know or cannot say. Types of report notes. First is oral report. Oral reports means the types of report is required by the researcher are to make an oral presentations. Making an oral presentations is somewhat difficult compared to the written report. This is because the reporter has to interact directly with the audience in further during and oral presentations can leave negative impressions on the audience. This may also lower the self-confidence of the presenter. In an oral presentations, communications plays a big role. A lot of planning and thinking is required to decide what to say and how to say, how much to say. Also, the presenter you may have face barrage of questions from the audience. A lot of preparations is required. The board classifications of an oral presentations is as follow. Next, natures of an oral presentations. Opening a brief statement can be made on the nature of decisions that will follow. The opening statement should explain the natures of the project, how it came about, and what was attempt. Finding conclusion. Each conclusion may be stated black up by findings. Next, recommendations. Each recommendation must have the support of conclusions at the end, and the presentation special answer session should follow from the audience. Method of presentations values if need to be exhibited can be made use of tabular from statistical information should help the audience. What types of presentations is a good question? Is it read from manuscripts of um, memorize of deliver extempo? Written report. Written reports classify is daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. Types of report: short report, long report, informal report, government report. Short reports are protect the product when the problem is very well defined and if the uh, is limited. For example, monthly skills reports. It will run into about 5 page. It consists of report about the progress made with the impacted to a particular product in a clearly satisfied geographical locations. Long report. This could be both a technical report as well as non-technical report. This will present to outcome of the research in details. First is a technical report, second is a non-technical report, and third formal report, informal report, government reports, etc. Next, preparations of research reports. Having decided on the type of report, the next step is report preparations. The following: first is a title page, second page content, executive summary, body, conclusion, and recommendations, bibliography, appendix. Title page in the first title page topic on which the report is prepared. It's include the name of the person of the agency who has prepared the report. Next, table of content. The table of content will be help the reader to know what the report contains. The table of contents should indicate the various part of sections of the report. This should also indicate the chapter heading along with the page number. Executive summary means if you report as a long and draw out the persons to whom you have prepared the report not may have to the time to read it in detail. A part of this an executive summary will help in the highlighting major points. It is a considered urgence of the whole report. It should be written in one or two page. An executive summary should have. First is objective, brief methodology, important finding, key results, and conclusion. The body. The sessions includes introduction, methodology, limitations, analysis, and interpretation. Introduction must explain clearly the decisions problem, the program research objective. Methodology, how we have collect the data is the key in this section. For example, what's primary data collector or secondary data used? Was the questionnaire used? What was the sample size and sample impact? And method of analysis was the design exploratory on conclusion limitation. Every report will have some shortcoming. The limitations may be of time, geographical area, currentness of the response, etc. Conclusion and recommendation. What was the conclusion drawn from the study? And second, based on the study, what recommendations will you make? Bibliography. If your quotations of your report are based on secondary data use of bibliography sections to list the publications or source that we have translated. The bibliography should include title of the book, name of the journal. In case of article, volume number, page uh, number edition, appendix. The purpose of an appendix is to provide a place for material which is not obviously essential to the body of the report. The appendix will contain copies of data collections from all questions, details of the annual report of the company, details of graphs, charts, photographs, series, entries, instructions, etc. Uh, Next, how to write a bibliography. Bibliography, the last sections of the report comes after appendix. Appendix contains questions and other relevant material of the study. The bibliography contains the source of every references and any other relevant work that has been considered in parts, and further regarding the source of data to the real bibliography are of different types. Says bibliography of works created is contains only the items data in the text. Selected bibliography lists the items which the other things are of the primary interest to the reader. Books name bibliography section of first is a name of author, title of the book, publisher details in the publishing, and page number. Style of report writing. Remember that the reader has short or time has many other urgent matters demanding his or her interest and attention. Is properly not knowledgeable as the research one. The layout of the report make good deep impressions encourage the readers and given them an idea of how the material has been organized so the reader can make quick determinations of what he will read first. Precautions in report writing. Um, First, the following must be or will while preparations report. In conclusion, all careless inaccuracy of content data, the in conclusions of outdated or error data, facts and opinions that are not separated, unsupported conclusions and recommendations, careless repetitions and portraying too much image or reference and not enough or a content. In summary, a report is a very formal document that is written for a variety of a purpose, generally in the science, social science, engineering, and business disciplines. The most important aspect to be kept in mind while developing research report is the communications which the audience report should be able to draw the interest of the leaders. Therefore, report should be centric that except to be considered while report are accuracy and clarity. The presenter must make sure that presentation is completed within the time allotted. Written report may be classified based on whether the report is a short report or a long report. It can also be classified based on a technical report or non-technical report. Written report should contain title page, contents, executive summary, body conclusions, and appendix. The last part is bibliography. The style of the report should be simple and to the they should not be endless. Descriptions in report writing and quantitative data is not be executed. This chapter is completed. Syllabus next lecture आपण ओव्हरव्ह्यू जो आहे ऑल सिलेबसचा तो आपण त्या ठिकाणी येणार आहोत. त्याच्यामध्ये मेन items आहे अपेंडिक्स, बिब्लिओग्राफी, एक्झिक्युटिव्ह समरी, इन्फॉर्मल रिपोर्ट अँड शॉर्ट रिपोर्ट. Okay, thank you.